It has been 3 weeks. 3 weeks since I've uploaded a video. And not that my channel has a lot of traffic or anything, but if you've been curious as to what I've been doing for 3 weeks, no Pokemon card openings, no Prince of Persia videos, no play this before you die gameplay videos, it's because of this right here. Just look at this. And yeah, I'm expecting the audience to be kind of embracing the serenity here, but this game has monopolized pretty much my whole summer since school let out back at the beginning of June. So this game, if you all do not know, it's Elden Ring. And yeah, I'm late to the party. I've not played this game before, and I know that it was Game of the Year 2 years ago when I was playing God of War Ragnarok and singing its praises. But this game does something that the Souls games have not been able to do. And I'm going to try my best to kind of show you all some small tidbits of my experience, just some gameplay that kind of emphasizes what makes this particular game so special. There's tons of games that I've played, and I have many, many favorites. Elden Ring is by no means a perfect game. I am not the best Souls player. I have played every Dark Souls game except Sekiro, and I love every single one of them. In fact, the platinum that I am most proud of is my platinum for Bloodborne. But the things that Elden Ring has been able to do that do not exist in other FromSoft games simply just blows my mind. First and foremost, and this may be a weird thing to start with, but the game allows you to embrace stealth. Now, stealth is not a critical part of the gameplay. It's not something that you have to do, but it exists to allow players who are struggling with some of the enemies or maybe the world design or the really tough, strong, powerful monsters, some way to kind of creep up on the enemies and be able to get a jump on them, do damage before they're able to actually do damage to you. And that kind of changes the gameplay because it gives you this perspective that there are multiple ways to approach combat. You don't just have to have a giant sword or a sword and shield or a bow or magic. Now you can actually hide, stealth up behind people, and take them out on one hit to kind of thin the herd. That really changes the way that you interact with this game, especially in the beginning, because you don't feel strong. You don't feel like this Kratos level character, this person living in a power fantasy. Instead, you are kind of just a dude. You're a Tarnished, this guy who is supposed to be looking for the Elden Ring to become Elden Lord. But what you realize is, in the grand scheme of things, your character is so much weaker than all the enemies around you. Even small, tiny mobs can really give you a run for your money, just like typical Souls games. Now, this game does give you more options to approach combat, such as stealth, like I said earlier. But again, the point is to learn and grow and become more powerful. And when stealth is something that you are allowed to use at the beginning of the game, it really changes how you interact with the game. And then you have the combat. For anyone who is familiar with Dark Souls games, this is nothing new here. The big addition in Elden Ring is that you can jump before doing a power attack, just like in other Dark Souls games, but it's no longer tied to the run button. Now you can literally just tap the X button on PlayStation to jump into the air and hit a power attack with R2. This fundamentally changes the gameplay and makes you feel like you have a control over the character that I just didn't feel in the other FromSoft games. Again, I'm not saying that Elden Ring is the best FromSoft game, but the things that it's able to do, the things it's able to change, has made it to where this is the only game I've been thinking about for 3 weeks. The only thing that I've really been playing outside of Pokemon Go and doing some Dynamax adventures and Sword. Like, this is the game that is monopolizing all my time and is constantly on my mind. The hours of sleep that I've lost just thinking about the next area, the new item I'm going to find, the new weapon that's going to help me wreck mobs and destroy bosses, keeps me going, keeps me playing, and doesn't want me to take a break. And I'm not felt something like that in a very, very long time. And keep in mind, I've played a lot of video games. This is one of those games that it's going to monopolize not just your time, but it's going to be living rent-free in your mind while you play it. While the footage is not the best way of showing it, something else I want to talk about this game is just the world design in general. So my brother and I had a discussion about this recently, about how some of our favorite games that we played was back in the 2000s. I don't think video game development peaked in the 2000s, but I do feel that whenever I was a kid, technology had not gotten to the point that it is today. And game developers, because they didn't want to take shortcuts, had to be very creative on how they created their game. You couldn't rely on flashy graphics and particle effects to carry the gameplay loop. Instead, you had to have an endearing loop that people wanted to play. Each thing had to tie into each other, and the world had to tie in to where you wanted to go to the next step without getting bored. The way they were able to accomplish this was they had to be creative. They had to make sure that the world was designed in a way to where you could interact with it and feel like it is lived in, regardless of the fact that the graphics were not stellar. What's interesting about Elden Ring is it does have amazing graphics. It does have cutting edge technology. It does look incredible, but it harkens back to a old way of developing video games where you are focusing first and foremost on the gameplay, how you interact with that world, and then all the flashy, pretty secondary stuff comes secondary. The gameplay is the focus, and it keeps it fun, it keeps it fresh, and it means that you lose countless hours playing it. Just like other FromSoft games, there will be times where you will come upon a new area, there'll be a bridge to the front of you, maybe a ladder to the left, and you have to decide where you're going to go. One way doesn't really lead to a dead end. It's more like different ways of interacting with the world where they tie back to that original place where you rested. It's sort of like you are unlocking shortcuts for if you die later. It's not like you are steadily progressing forward. You are constantly circling back, finding shortcuts so that you can cut out some of the enemies that you had defeated earlier in case you are having struggles. And then you fight that boss, you beat that boss, you take those souls, you level up, and you feel incredibly accomplished by what you were able to defeat in that amount of time without feeling like you had to traverse this big, huge open area with nothing in it, where it's not lived in. And that is just a testament to whether it's FromSoft's video game philosophy or whether it's just this remembrance of what games used to be in the past. Elden Ring is something special in that regards and really puts other games to shame. It's really, really hard for me to play other games, even think about making other videos on games to play before you die when I've played this particular game that does so many things so well, especially the fun factor. It's really hard for me to even think about putting time and effort into anything but this game. And now the difficulty. So, in my humble opinion, Elden Ring is the easiest FromSoft game I've ever played. Now, that does not mean the game is easy. It does not mean that I'm good, that you need to get good. Does not mean that I know all the ins and outs, that I don't die occasionally to random enemies. Doesn't mean that I know how to perfectly dodge. What I mean is, it is a game that is accessible. It teaches you how to play. It reminds me very much of the old Metroidvanias where whenever you get to a boss, you have to learn its movements. You have to choreograph its tells that tell you when it's about to do a power attack, when it's about to do a lunge, when it's about to block, when it's about to breathe fire, etc., etc. You cannot just randomly dodge like I'm doing in this clip. You have to actually tell. You have to notice the tells of the enemies. You have to pay attention. See when they swing. See when they dodge. See when the windups are. If you constantly dodge, you'll deplete your stamina. You will dodge straight into an attack. It is crucial to take a step back, take a deep breath, and then realize that you have the means, the power, the weapons, the ability, the skill to overcome this game. And it is such a cool feeling to be able to immerse yourself in the most accessible FromSoft game that is still difficult, but very fair. Gives you tools to kind of overcome your enemies and experiment. Gives you overpowered Ashes of War and weapons that you can choose to use or not use, especially if you are struggling with the game. And all of that just makes this a game that, unlike Dark Souls 2, which I'm also currently playing with my brother, this game it doesn't have the ram your head against the wall difficulty and ridiculousness that some of the older Dark Souls games have. And it means that you can play this game for a long time, and while you will get frustrated, you can step back and say, okay, I know I can specifically beat this enemy or this boss. I know I can do it. I know the move that keeps beating me. I know what I need to do in order to overcome this challenge. Which I guess segues into my final point. People who play FromSoft games, Soulsborne games, they've been compared to sort of a religious experience. And I'm not going to be that person who says that this game saved me or cured me of my depression. This is not one of those videos. But the game sucks you in, and it's powerful because it shows you that you can overcome difficulty when you stick to it. And there's been many videos talking about this, specifically in the first Dark Souls game. But when you fight a giant bear that is about to destroy you, and you are able to dodge at just the right time, parry at just the right time, swing your sword, and just smash that monster's head in, you have this feeling of, whoa, I did that. My guy, who has started out as this little peon, who died to random enemies with torches and pitchforks, can beat a giant bear that is destroying trees because I was able to learn how to defeat it. It is a really cool feeling. And I can't emphasize how that rush of adrenaline that you get when you learn how to play these games really does make it all worthwhile. And kind of lessens the impact of other games that I play. It's not that other games are bad. I still love my platformers, but it's a type of feeling that shows you, hey, I could exist in this world as this character. I could figure out a way to survive. I could become the hero. I could work hard. I could overcome adversity. I could not give up and stick with it and beat this dude no matter how hard he is. And that feeling of overcoming challenge is what makes these games so freaking fun to play. And it's why it's kind of monopolized all my interest. It's why I've not thought about anything else. It's why the fun of opening Pokemon card packs just isn't there right now. The fun of playing Prince of Persia isn't really there right now. All the things that I kind of did to waste time during the school year, now that I have time to do whatever I want without this time sink sitting on top of my head telling me, hey, you only have so many hours to play, means that I can be completely engrossed in this game and just enjoy everything that it has to offer, immerse myself in its world, and just seriously see this as one of the greatest masterpieces one of the greatest works of art that I've ever played in my entire life. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Hope that you all see how amazing this game is, and hope you understand why it's so hard for me right now to think about anything else in this world as it relates to gaming besides the Elden Ring from FromSoft.